Hi everyone, welcome to Natural Wonders. Today I've got a really big painting to do, a commission, and I've done a quick sketch of some trees, of the hills in the background and the fields in the foreground. It's hard to see on camera at the moment, but I'll give you a zoom in on that. So yeah, I'm going to do a painting commission. This painting is going to be titled Baildon. Baildon Top. A view to Baildon Top. I'm going to title it. I don't really need any detail in here. I'm not after detail, I just want to put some dark in there. These trees. Now, because it's such a big canvas, it's going to bounce about a lot. So I will get a lot of noise, vibration from it. But it's all good. In there I can just block it in. Just really block it in there. I'm going to come down to the bottom where I've actually drawn with that. Because of the field just in there, but that's going to be pretty dark in itself. Going to be more or less in silhouette when they're done of these. I'll have a little bit of a hue to them, a colour hue, but nothing drastic. Just in there, just want to get enough of that black in basically. Just a quick indication is all I'm after at this stage. This is just going to give us the dark that we want for it. While we're over this side of the canvas, I'll be putting some in here too, because we've got some tree, a wall coming along here, so I can indicate that in dark. Just in there, the wall. Just down there, but I want it to be very loose. I'm just putting the dark in at the moment for that wall. And then behind it, I can paint it in. Just block it in with black. As we're using oil paints for this, I'm just going to go over this acrylic gesso with oils. And there's going to be a little field to the side, just a grassy field. It's going to be pretty dark, so that everything else will stand out better. Not going to be a lot of detail. Quite surrealistic. Yeah, you'd have to cover it, it's everywhere. Just most of the places. Lock that in. In this field, I'll leave it as is, because as I've drawn it out, I can put in the lights, the darks, the different colour tones with the oils. Don't need to have the black gesso in there. I can add the darks with the black oil paint if I need to. Just easier for this grassy area to have it in black first, because it's easier to do grass over black. Really simple. Just straight black gesso acrylic. The actual canvas itself is 120 by 150. It's a good size. I haven't painted a painting this big for a while, so it's really nice to be asked to do a commission for someone of a painting this size. See, all that sharpness on top of there won't stand out nowhere near as much, because this is going to be quite dark behind here. The only reason it's going to stand out is because of the lights that we're going to have on this hill in the background. That'll really make it stand out, and I'll make it a little bit lighter in tone obviously as well. So I'm just going to use that to go to the bottom of the brick wall, the stone wall. These walls around here are dry stone walls. Most of Yorkshire is. I used to actually do a little bit of dry stone walling when I had a I went on a countryside skills course and I learned quite a lot. How to do dry stone walling, fencing, all sorts of handy things that have come in handy a lot for different jobs that I've done in the past. It'd be nice through this channel to be able to make it so it's a permanent full-time job. And we're getting there, definitely getting there. Thanks to everybody who subscribed to my channel. It's really appreciated, and it allows me to carry on painting these wonderful paintings for you all and teaching you all the little tricks of the trade that most keep to themselves. It's a shame I can't do it in every single country, but that's out of my hands, it's out of my control, is that? So you can see where I'm basically going. I'm just blocking it in black for these trees in the middle ground. Nice and fast, quick. I can alter this at any time. So I'm just going, using a quick sketch that I did as my guide. Trying not to go over, too far over the areas where I've drawn. Keeping between the lines basically. Right. I'll just block that in under there with gesso. Doesn't matter if you come a bit too low. Oil paints are very opaque, so they're going to cover right over this anyway. They always do. Very opaque paints or oils. Acrylics and watercolours are very transparent. Acrylics aren't as bad as watercolours for transparency, but in a way with watercolours you can use transparency to really help you get some amazing effects of it. I tend to generally paint transparent when I'm using watercolours. Do it with oils by using thin amounts of oils with linseed oil on the canvas. There's so many things you can do. And this place where I'm painting, it's a local scene. The person who's ordered it used to live near to this place, and it was a view from their house, so painting it. You can remember back home then, can't remember where he come from, the views that he used to see in the morning, his way to school, all that kind of stuff. It just brings memories back. It's nice to get a commission like this, like I say, especially in my local area. It's a beautiful spot. You get some wonderful sunset, especially looking over this way, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing a sunset scene. How it's going. Just a nice general basic outline of the trees on the outside. You find this is a Terry Harrison brush, golden leaf. And it's a very, very good brush for these stippling of the acrylic trees. It's an acrylic brush designed for acrylics, so it just seems to give you really lovely effects on the leaves. And I know I'm going to be blocking this in anyway, but and going over it with oils. It's just nice bit of practice to do it first anyway, because you want the dark in, so all you have to do there is lighten it slightly with the oil paints. Just there as a good guide for you. I love to do it this way. I'm sure I could just easily just go in with the oils and do it just with the oils, but it also helps to show you guys where I'm going to be going with it. And as an instructor, that's quite important. I don't just want a good painting at the end of it. I want you guys to get good paintings out of what you do with your work. So it's important to me that what I teach you works for you. You can always contact me anytime on my YouTube channel. Through the about part of the page, you will see messages in there. You can contact me through messages in there. Ask me questions. feel free. You don't have to worry about all these internet trolls because you're paying for a channel. Just don't worry about it, because I block them. And like I say, you don't have to send comments on the videos themselves. It's fine. Just send them to me personally. That's perfect. Right, I'm happy with that at that stage. Next thing I'm going to do is cover this whole area with liquid white, and we're on our way. So I hope you can just see what I've sketched out there. In England, beginning of summer, they come with the tractors and they actually harvest the hay from the fields, you know, for the horses, and it grows. It ends up going in strips like this. It's a lovely angle for this painting, for the foreground. It's going to be a silhouette painting, you see, so it is going to be quite dark. And if I come in closer, hopefully it won't start blurring. I'll show you some of the pencil marks that I put on there. Just don't want it to stand out too well on camera. So I'll just show you a close up of that. There you go. So there you have it. That's the preparation, the pencil drawing. Simple sketch, fast. Didn't mess about with it at all. And it's a good start. Go in there with this dark colour. It needs to be quite a bit darker than I've got it so far. But that's fine. I want that to bleach its way into this area now in here. So I'm just going to have a quick look just up in there. Got an area that comes out. And I'm just making little circles. Just little circles. A couple of little bits that's coming off of that there. And when I'm doing it, I'm like blending with the brush as I go. That's good. So with this darker colour here, I just want to blend into that now a bit. I'm going to create some soft edges. This in here wants to be a bit darker. Keep going back in all the time, you see. You need to do to reload the brush. Get a fresh load of paint, and then it'll darken off certain areas that you want to be a bit darker, or a bit more blue, or a bit more of the purple lake in there. I want a balance. Here and there there'll be a bit more purple, here and there there'll be a bit more blue, but that's fine. It's just what I'm after. Gives variety. It's a nice variety of colour tones. And doing it like that. Now, this part here is going to join to this, pretty much. Just in there. And I want to create a few nice gaps in between where you can see the light. Now, I'm looking at the width of this, and it wants to come down to about there. So if I go into that, pick up some of the colour, the darker colour that I put on there, I can just indicate how low down I want to go. You see, up there it's quite thin, up in that area. Get some more fresh paint. You have to constantly keep reloading your brush, because you need a lot of paint for this. A lot of paint. There we go. Right, so got a thinner strip going right up into there. Shooting in tiny little circles. Yes. I say, it's quite a bit thicker in here than I thought at first. So that's going to go right to there. Right down like so. Blocking the colour in at the moment. I can worry later on about blending and getting it nice and soft in there. Just applying the colour, and I can use some crisscross strokes if I choose here and there. Don't like it to be too flat, so blending is okay, but don't want to overdo it with blending. There's a nice part that is softer behind here, so I'm going to apply a bit of colour, let it mix with the liquid white, just in there. I'm using it more like towards these tones, you see how allowing it to mix with the liquid white just enough so that it gets a nice bit of light for a little cloud that's just in there. Softer one that's behind. That's nice. I love painting stuff like this. This place where I'm painting is actually, it's in my local area, and the person who's ordered the painting, they used to live just over to the left of where this is, and they remember this view so well they just wanted someone to remind them of it basically, which is totally understandable. Right, and just down in here I want a bit of that blue as well for a little cloud that's going to be just around in there. Put a tiny bit of that colour in. There. Now I can come back and start to blend bottom of this. Just blend it all out. First it's just about getting that colour in. Once you've done that, then you can really start blending it nicely and looking at parts that you want to make look better, softer sometimes. Sometimes you just want them to be darker. There. Now it actually goes right off up into here, like so. And it seems to bleach itself out a bit, that's why I've used that effect up there. And then it sort of comes round here. There's a gap in between it, just there. And then that comes in. Just leave that little gap just in between with the light, just in there. Something like that. And then blend that bottom edge out, soften it. Then I can darken it on, but I don't want it too dark. Right, fresh load of paint again, straight on the darker stuff. You can always make it darker, it's a son of a gun to make it lighter, so don't worry too much about getting it as dark as you need it straight away. I just want plenty of colour in there. Probably come back later and darken certain stuff off with like a bit of blacking with it, just here and there. These were very silhouette, these clouds. Very silhouette. Just up in here, there's going to be a couple, so what I'll do first is I'll finish this bottom part to this. We all know that's in silhouette. See that? Just put that in there. Now that's in silhouette. So I can then blend it with that liquid white on the canvas. And that's going to help the cloud get darker and darker. See that just in there. And I just tickle the edges of the clouds with the bottom of the brush, just to soften bottom edge. See, these up here, they've turned into quite wispy clouds. It's a good way of blending from light to dark, the little tiny circles. It's effective. Right, I'm happy. Now, this point here has to go a bit further down actually. More down to there like that. Now the right colour here, to get some more purple lake out. Get darker and darker the more you do it then. Some dark. Hope you can still see that from the angle. Trying to get some fresh again, fresh paint. Just have to lock in this bottom part here. Down to about there actually. Blend around the base a bit. Blend it into there. And quite dark in silhouette. Like I said, I could easily come back in a bit if I choose and darken them up easily. So for now I'm just getting this colour on. That's good. Now is there a bit of a gap here where you can see this bit of pink and a bit of sky. Now what you have is you have some little clouds in between and just underneath it. Just in there and again in there. So I'll put some of that in. And then I'll come back with my blender brush. I'll just blend them out, soften them up. And they're just sat there behind. Really softly blend that out nice and soft. There. Because these are behind, they're going to be much softer. Much softer. That's good. Get some of the dark again. I'm like constantly having to reload. Can't be painting without any paint on the brush, which is what tends to happen sometimes. So dark again in there, and just below this area. See what I just did there? Got a nice little cloud just in there underneath. It's part of this cloud. Not dark enough yet because it's mixing with the liquid white, you see. So again, that's why you have to blend it, go back into the darker colour again. And this actually comes down quite a way down in here. Let's have a look how wide that is. Some got a few bits and stuff just going on in this part, just under there. And there's another little separate one just there. Just soft, nice and soft. And then basically that all joins and attaches to this area here, just good and down. That's let's sort out that area. Darken it up as well a bit there. Down here there's another part that comes off. And all the time I'm just allowing it to mix with that colour that's underneath. But liquid white, it's important to have that on there. Try and do this without liquid white on it and you'll really struggle. Try and do it in acrylics if you like. Sometimes you get them effects of acrylics if you work hard at it. Right, now this part here is going to come from there. It joins on to these clouds below here. So I'm just marking it out in my mind.